So for some unknown reason, I decided to punish myself and took part in the 100 heads in 10 days challenge. Hi guys, Anna here and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you the journey that I went through when I decided to take Ahmed Aldoori's 100 heads challenge. That's right, you get 10 days, you do 10 head drawings per day, and then you get 100 portrait drawings at the end. It's crazy, but it's also crazy fun, and I do feel like I've learned a lot by the end. So in this video, I want to share with you the time-lapse videos of the heads of how I was drawing them, as well as some hiccups I had along the way and some tips and tricks if you want to start the challenge as well, if you want to participate, which I highly encourage. Maybe my mistakes, my hiccups will help you have a smoother ride. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy this video and let's go. Alright, so day one, I'm feeling so excited and so pumped to get started with this 10-day challenge. You know, when you start any new project, you always feel super excited, and that was definitely me on day one. The one thing I did not think through though is how long it could potentially take to complete 10 sketches. And as a perfectionist, that was something I struggled with the whole time through. Because if you think about it, if you spend an hour on a sketch, that is 10 hours per day. And although I really enjoy drawing, maybe I don't enjoy it that much to do 10 studies and in 10 hours. That is just crazy. So I did not think through that, and that's why the first day was probably one of the longest days. But later on, I figured that I'll probably do 15 minutes to 30 minutes. And I mostly ended up doing about 30 minutes per sketch because I never can just complete a sketch. It always looks unfinished to me. So that was my second goal, to make sure I learn to say goodbye to the drawings, even though I see many problems with them still. So for the reference photos, I used the original Ahmed Aldoori's Pinterest board where he saved 100 different references to choose from, not to choose from, but to do studies off for this challenge. And I'm super glad I did, because most of these are something that I would have never chosen for myself. And so I would therefore stay in my comfort zone. But these references helped me really get out of my comfort zone and therefore taught me more at the end of the day. So super happy about that decision. And that is the result for day number one. So as the day two rolled around, I was still super excited, maybe just a tiny bit less because I realized how long this could actually take. So you will see me be a little bit less ambitious this time. And that shows through the lack of highlights that I added at the end of the first day, and the second day, I was just like, nah. So yeah, less ambition, but definitely still very happy I'm doing this. And I was still struggling with the perfectionism, so to kind of battle that in a way, I had to teach myself to be okay to leave work unfinished, even if I see so many problems with it. So definitely this challenge for me personally was harder morally than anything else. So can I stop a sketch when it's not finished? That is the real challenge. So for all of my perfectionists out there, you will probably have a harder time than anybody else because of that simple fact. But I know that you can do it because I did, and we got it. Some of these references are so cool. The faces are either stretched out or these are sculptures, so you get to really see how sculptures are created and the depth of them. because the sculptures, when they are made, they're kind of done in layers and they're so structural, even more so than an actual face. So drawing from sculptures is always it's challenging, but it also is so rewarding at the end of the day. And it teaches you to understand that the face is not 2D, it is a 3-dimensional shape and therefore should be treated as such. So one of my favorite things was definitely the abundance of different sculpture references in that original board. And this is the final result of day 2. As the day 3 rolled around, I had a revelation. It was 11:20 p.m. when I started drawing, and I already knew it was a horrible idea. So by the end of this day, I only completed 7 drawings, which I will pay for later. And also I was super tired. I was so tired, and it's one of the things that is a tip. It was a hiccup. I always started all of these drawings super late. So don't be like me, don't do that. Just start as early as you can so you can be finished as soon as possible and just enjoy the rest of your day, instead of like me enjoying my day and then struggling for the night because it would take forever to finish, and I was also super tired by the end of it. So yeah, just plan ahead a little bit, plan your days a little bit better than me. I'm kind of horrible at that lately, but that was kind of one of the big mistakes that I did, was not planning when I'm starting to draw, and finishing drawings at 3, 4, 5 a.m. Is not good for your health. So I definitely really need to work on that. Even after this challenge is over, I need to have a better schedule. Let me know what your schedule is like. Do you like to be a night owl or an early bird? I'm actually very curious. And here is the final of the day 3. So day 4 of this challenge was kind of an interesting one. First of all, I got tired of just drawing with black and white, and I decided to do some color studies. And that was a bad decision in a way, because as a perfectionist, again, that's something I struggle with a lot. And if I can't make a simple drawing work in 30 minutes, how in the world will I make an actual painting work? Which I didn't, and I'm not very happy with those. So I figured I have to go back, and I ended up only doing 2 color studies. I'm still pretty excited that I checked out if I could do it, that I tried it. But maybe there's going to be a different challenge when I just do color studies, and then I'll be happy. So I went back to just drawing in black and white, or in this case, dark gray and some light color. Also, the interesting thing about this day was that I was doing a review for my new XP Pen tablet, which I will leave a link to somewhere in the corner or in the description where you can check it out. And there is a slower time lapse of these drawings. So if you have seen this review, you've already seen these drawings. So you had a sneak preview of the challenge without even knowing it. But it was definitely very fun. It was fun to play around with a new tablet and to continue with this challenge. And I could not believe that already on day 4, I'm about to finish a 40th portrait. That is just, I don't know, I didn't think that was possible before I started this challenge. So that's something I'm very grateful for, the breaking of these false beliefs and to know that I can do anything. And this is the result in day 4. I apologize for such a long video, but I am sharing 100 portrait drawings, and it took me 50 hours to complete all of these drawings. I know that's an insane amount of time. And obviously, if you start this challenge, you don't have to spend 50 hours. You can literally spend 5 or 10 or whatever you want. But for myself, I decided to do 50 after I calculated how much time I can spend on it. And I'm very glad I did, because that was 50 hours of drawing that will help me improve so much in the future, and that already pushed me and gave me a boost in my portrait drawings. At least that's what I believe. And so as you can see, I'm not actually drawing on a white background. And the reason for that is simply because I did not want my eyes to stare at bright white for 50 hours in a row. And I just want to save my eyes as much as I can, or my health in general. So I did this kind of hue to kind of lower the exposure to the light from my eyes and just relax a little bit so I can just enjoy the process without feeling hurt or anything like that. So that's something also to think about. Of course, if you're doing this in your sketchbook, there's no problem like that. Just make sure the lighting in your room is good so that you don't have to really stress your eyes for long periods of time. And if you want to create your own boards and find your own references for this, of course, that's such a great idea as well. But if you do want to push yourself to go outside of your comfort zone and draw something that you would not pick for yourself, then picking their Pinterest board is the best choice. And this is the result. All right, I want to take a very quick second of your time to say thank you so much to all of my patrons. Your support means so much to me. It keeps me inspired, motivated to challenge myself and grow as an artist. So thank you so much. And for all of you who consider becoming my patrons, check out patreon.com/yourartpath to learn more, or check out learn.yourartpath.com to see what you get access to when you become my patron. There's tutorials, time lapses, wallpapers, PSD files, brushes, and so many other things that you can get access to when you become my patron. So thank you again to my patrons, and let's get back to the video. All right, so day 6 rolled around and I got a little bit tired from doing the same approach, kind of like pencil approach, for all of the previous drawings. So this time I decided to go with something different. So I picked a brush that's very digital and I just decided to do kind of digital explorations. I was working not with 2D shapes at this point, but I was thinking more 3-dimensionally. I was thinking about highlights and shadows, all different hues, and just an overall of a face as a 3-dimensional object, which it is in real life. So that was a little bit of a different approach and I did really enjoy it. It looks very digital, of course, but I had a lot of fun. And actually this drawing on the left right now is one of my favorites in general. I think it has something to do with subtlety of lines, but also with the movement and the liveliness of the lines and how the beard wraps around kind of, it's just, I don't know, pleasant shape maybe. But I really enjoyed all of these incredible faces that are so different from one another and that really pushed me to think about proportions of the face as something that changes, because so often we get used to the things we like drawing and then we just keep drawing the same face basically with like very little changes, and that does not help us artistically. As an artist, you should be able to experiment, explore, and draw a variety of things and not just stay in your comfort zone. And this is the result of the day 6. So usually when I paint, I'm looking forward to finishing a painting and having a final result. So if I take 3, 5, 10 hours doing it, it's no problem at all. But in this case, they were kind of sketches and studies, but it would still take me like 5 hours per day to complete it. And that was kind of weird. So instead of just listening to music for 5 hours every day, I love watching shows. And in particular, I like watching shows that I've already seen before, or as a teenager, or shows that I really care about. But anyway, this day was very interesting because the first 7 drawings, and I think this one is the last one, it was when I was watching a show. But on this drawing, my show was finished. There was no more episodes, so I started listening to jazz music. And the difference in the approach is insane. You know, when I started listening to music instead of watching a show, kind of the mood changed, my perspective changed, my feelings changed at that time. So I wanted to draw differently. And that just goes again to show how important your surroundings are to your final artwork. Are you distracted? Are you sad? Are you having fun? Are you in the mood? Like, what mood is it? It all matters at the end of the day. And here is the final result for day 7. Another quick break to remind you that your support means so much to my little YouTube channel. It's still such a small baby community, but you all help me grow it. So thank you so much. And if you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing, hit that like button and notification bell icon so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thank you so much. Now is a perfect time to tell you that I didn't actually do this challenge in 10 days in a row. So my goal was to complete 100 portraits in 10 days, which I did, but they were not consecutive days. During this time, I went on a trip to the mountains that I planned for a long time, and I was super excited. I did not want to waste any moment, so I put this challenge on pause. And I do not regret it one bit, and I still think I did the challenge, or at least my interpretation of the challenge. So I guess this tip goes to say that you're human, things happen, life happens, don't be too hard on yourself, and instead of feeling bad or sorry or horrible that you missed a day or two or something went the way you didn't expect it to go, let it go. Give yourself a break, relax. You know, at the end of the day, it does not matter. What matters is if you complete your goal, if you do what you set out to do. If I started feeling bad about missing a few days, I could have just gave up and never finished this challenge. Instead, I believe what's more important or better is to just let it go and then finish and just do my goal. And my goal was 100 portraits in 10 days, and I've completed it, and I'm so proud of myself, because at the end of the day, you have to give yourself a high five because you deserve it and you do some amazing things. And sometimes others don't get it, others don't support you, and that's okay. Just set up your own goals, finish them to the best of your ability, and don't be too hard on yourself. Just like you wouldn't be hard on your friend or your family member. Usually we're harder on ourselves than them. And this is the day 8 result. For those of you who pay attention, you probably noticed that I always do warm-ups before I start on any of the days, because if you don't warm up your hand, your first drawing might suck, you know? And I didn't want that to happen. I don't have any time to waste. It's like a lot of time being taken by this challenge. So I always do a few minutes of warm-ups, just some circles, hatches, cross hatches, some lines. It's something that I teach in my lesson of how to draw anything, which my patrons get access to. So if you want to check it out, go ahead and do so at patreon.com/artpath. But anyway, you know, it's important to warm up, so I suggest you do that. But also I want to give you a tip that has to do with your health. So drawing for 5.5 hours, your hand gets very stressed out from all this pressure. It is important to take breaks, maybe every hour, take a 5-minute break, or at the very least, do some stretches, move your wrists, move your fingers. Don't let your health suffer because you're too excited to be drawing. That's something that I've struggled with, and I used to never pay attention to it, and then my hand would hurt. And if you keep doing it for years, then you might get sick, and nobody wants that. So pay attention to your health because it is super important. On these last 3 days, I also used a different brush. All 3 days, I used a new brush that I created. It's very simple, but it has this beautiful texture to it that I really enjoyed, and it really helped me create better drawings, I believe, at the end of the day. And it is a brush that my patrons will get access to. It is super simple, but I loved working with it. So again, find some materials that you enjoy working with, that you want to experiment with, or that you want to improve in. Everything about this challenge can teach you something. So make sure you set those goals for yourself. Don't just mindlessly draw, but maybe experiment and give yourself even a more challenging idea than you did at the beginning. And it's something that will come with time to you. So don't stress it, just do your best. And here is the final for day 9. Oh, and you might have also noticed that for the last 3 days, I've been doing 11 drawings per day. That's right, because on one of the first days, I only did 7 and I said I'll pay for it, and I did. I paid for it by doing 11 drawings a day. And honestly, on this day 10, I feel so excited that the challenge is over. It was way more challenging than I thought, but I think that's the whole point. That's why it's called a challenge. It shouldn't be easy, but it should teach you things, and it definitely taught me a lot of things. And no pain, no gain, and I definitely felt the pain at times, but it was only because of my own mistakes. If I started over, I would do a few things differently. First of all, I would set up a timer and follow it and think about how much time I can allow for this challenge per day. Secondly, I would organize the references by 10 for easy access. So I put them in folders so I don't have to think about it or get lost. And number 3, I would start drawing earlier in the day and not at 11 and finish at 3-4 a.m. like I did. That was just silly of me. I know you can do better. And yeah, just be good to myself, have fun, allow for mistakes to happen, allow for imperfections to happen. Don't stress out the small things, let it go. It's just for fun, it's just for learning. And yeah, but I'm super glad I did it, and I would definitely do it again. So do I feel like I've learned something? Yeah, I think so. And I felt the improvement in the process itself. So as I went to draw a new portrait and a new one, I think I was getting faster and better at recognizing some crucial parts of the facial structures. And if I started at the beginning in day 1 with sketches that I thought were okay or good or meh, I ended up with having some that I really like. And I think that is a big achievement for myself. So yeah, I think the challenge was a success and that everybody should give it a go. All right, guys, that's it. That was the 10 days of craziness. I might have not followed the rules perfectly, but I don't think there are any rules that are supposed to be happening as long as you set the rules for yourself. I did say I'm gonna only spend 10 days drawing, and it has to be 100 drawings. So I feel like I've hit that goal for myself. Check out Ahmed's video and consider doing the challenge yourself, because it was so good for me and I feel like I've learned a lot. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel for more, hit the like button, and comment down below which of the days were your favorite. Which of these drawings did you enjoy the most? I would love to know, and I will see you soon. Bye!